Hello and welcome back to my garden. I hope you've had a lovely week. I have. Thank you for asking. Today we are going to do a bit more DIY. As you can see here, I have built my very own veggie bed cover. This is just a narrow one because a couple of my beds have some vertical structures in the middle for some climbing plants. This was my first time attempting such a build. So there's a few things that I've learnt from this one. So today I thought we could build a new one. I'm going to build a full-size one for my bed, for one of the beds that doesn't have the climbing frame in the middle of it. But if you are new here, welcome. My name is Michael and I love all things fruit and veggie gardening. So if that's something you're into as well, you are in the right place. Now let's get growing. First things first is to measure the size that I'm going to need. This one does have an arbor at the end of it, so I'm going to make it sit a little bit shorter than the full length of the bed. Got my old tape measure out. .8 meters, I think, is going to be good for this bed. 1.8 by, you're going to remember that, 1.8, let's see on the inside, by 1.1, 1.8 by 1.15, 1.8 by 1.15. I've got my little workstation here right in the middle of the garden. Yesterday I went and bought some treated pine. I got two lengths. They were 4.8 meters each. And at Bunnings you can get them cut for free because I don't have a drop saw or a circular saw or anything like that. So you can actually get them cut to the size you want. I got them cut so they could fit in my car because I don't have a trailer or a ute or anything like that. So I got them cut into 2 meter lengths with a little bit left over. Now what did I say? 1.8. So these are 2, so I just got to take 20 centimeters off. I've also gone the cheapest route possible. So you can do this at home rather than having, as I said, I don't have a drop saw or a circular saw, and rather than buying one for, $100, I just bought the trusty old hand saw. I think this was only $12, and it will come in handy again. A little bit more elbow grease I got to put into it, but that's all right. And it has a little ruler on one side, so I can just make sure I draw a line straight across at 1.8. And just to repeat that on another piece. The hardest part is just getting the line, the cut started with a saw. If you have any tips on how to best get the line started, let me know in the comments. What did I say for the length? 1.8 1.14. Ooh. One. Camel. Ripped a little bit off. That's all right. One more cut to go. Don't need the old sawhorses anymore. Very old, unstable sawhorses. Sawhorse. Now, it's a matter of just laying it into position. The next job is screwing the corners together. I bought a pack of treated pine countersunk rib head screws. You can get different ones, but this one was specifically for treated pine, so I thought it was the go. I made the mistake, though, yesterday of not pre-drilling a hole in this piece of pine and just using the screw, and it actually created a little bit of a hairline split in the ends of my other one, which is a little bit annoying. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to pre-drill holes, which will hopefully stop that from happening. These come with their own fancy drill bit, like a star shape. Doing it on the uneven ground is maybe not the best way to go, but And it did it. And didn't split. Good work, me. No, it's starting to rain. Mm-mm. Done. Now I originally bought this electrical conduit that I was going to bend, and it would probably work for this bigger bed that I'm doing now, in between the wood. Oh. It'd be very large, but I don't have enough left anymore because I tried to do it on the half size one, but because it was so much narrower, it just started bending, like curving, and then it just did that. So I had to think of a different option for doing the little arches, if you'd like to call them that, which brought me to this blue line that I used previously to extend my water line to the back garden. Because it's quite stiff, but very bendable. So I went with that, so I'm going to have to go with that again for this bed. What I bought to secure the arches is some saddle something, I don't know what they're called, saddle for galvanized pipe. Clamps. Anyway, these things. So I'm going to secure these. I only did 3 arches on my little bed, but this bed I'm going to do 4, I think. I think it'll sit better with 4 rows, 4 arches, which means I need 8 of these, 4 on each side, to secure along the length of the frame. Now we just need to create the arches. Shh. going to eyeball again. How tall do you think it needs to be? A bit taller? Maybe like that? I reckon that's a good size. Cut there. What do you think? I think yes. How is that? What I learnt yesterday is the saddle brackets are a little bit loose for the pipe, so I'm gonna use some extra screws and then just screw through the pipe into the wood to just secure it into place. I just forgot about an important part. But luckily I hadn't screwed the two end ones fully down because they're the ones I needed to be loose. I've got these little T-joints to add some bracing across the top. Let me thread those on either side. Lucky I remembered now. Two more screws. So I've got the T-joints, one at each end, that I'm going to use some of that plastic conduit that I bought to create a support across the middle, so when we pull the netting over it doesn't push it down too hard. But I'm going to just screw these bolts, well, thingies into the center-ish. Now I'm going to sort of put it underneath the middle two and then just tie them with some tie so it's all held into place. Lovely. And now for the fun part is putting the netting on. And by fun, I mean not very fun. It took me so long yesterday because I wanted to get it really tight, and no matter which way I was pulling it, it was sort of becoming loose the other way. But you've got a few options. You can use bird netting, or if you want to use a frame like this, maybe for shading, you could use a shade cloth. I'm going to use some old bird netting that I've got because I'm going to use it for the winter, cooler months, keep out those cabbage white, and also the pesky little house sparrows that love to eat my lettuces and things like that. This is the netting I've got. It's like a really fine mesh. But now I'm thinking it might not be big enough to go over. Maybe. Might need to really stretch it. It's going to look a little something like that. Should be enough to go around, I reckon. What I used yesterday was these things. Don't know what they're for. Well, I know they're for the building industry, but I don't know. To hold bits of stuff together. And then I just hammered that into the wood with the netting behind it to hold it. But my father-in-law suggested just adding screws down the side, and then you can just hook the netting onto the screws, which I think I'm going to do because it means that if this netting ever gets ripped, or if I want to use it in summer, I can swap this netting out, take it off, just unhook it, and then swap it over with a, what's it called, shade cloth. I think that is what I'm going to do. So a little bit more drilling then. Oh, shit. My only worry is if any bits sit up too far, sneaky little birds. They did it last year. My netting that I just had sort of staked down. Any little corner they could get in, they managed to get in. Guess I'll pull it as tight as I can. So far so good. Definitely tighter on this end. Should be alright. I did it. What a beautiful piece of engineering. I think the hooks are a good idea. As I said, I can swap them out if I want to put shade cloth instead, or if this netting does get a hole in it, which I'm sure it will eventually, I can just put a new one on. I don't know if it's too heavy. The test is going to be putting it onto the bed. Oh. And we are in. How does it look? Let me know in the comments what you think. This wasn't a very hard build, and it wasn't very expensive either. I probably spent about 50 bucks all up to build this cover, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let me know in the comments if I've inspired you to get out there and build your own veggie bed frame. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a good old thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And that'll do it for today. So happy gardening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.